Most managers think giving constructive feedback is about finding the right words. It isn't. The real failure point is having no repeatable structure before the conversation even starts. So here's the headline answer. Effective constructive feedback has 3 components, and you need all 3 before you even open your mouth. What happened specifically, what it affected, and what you'd like to happen instead. That's it. If you can't clearly state all 3 before the conversation, you're not ready to have it yet. Without that clarity, feedback drifts into vague criticism. It damages trust and changes nothing. And with it, you give someone something they can actually act on. But knowing the 3 components is only half the job. The question is how to structure them while you're in the room. 2 frameworks map directly to that 3-part logic. SBI stands for Situation, Behavior, Impact. You name the specific situation, describe the observable behavior, then explain the impact. CORBS stands for Context, Observation, Reaction, Behavior, Suggestions. It adds your reaction and ends with a suggested way forward. Neither is magic, both are just scaffolds that help you be specific and behavioral rather than vague and personal. And here's the contrast. Unstructured is, you just don't seem engaged in meetings lately. That's an impression, not feedback. But structured, using SBI, in last Tuesday's project review, you didn't contribute when we discussed a timeline. That meant we left without decision and the team is now unclear on the next steps. Same concern, completely different conversation. The structure removes hesitation for you as the giver and gives the recipient a predictable shape to the conversation rather than feeling like a personal attack. Pick one model and use it consistently, and don't improvise each time. And there's also 2 practical rules on delivery. First, give feedback as soon as possible after the event. The longer you wait, the less constructive it becomes. Reference points blur and context fades, and it starts to feel like a delayed grievance rather than useful input. Aim to have the conversation within 24 hours wherever you can. Secondly, deliver it personally and directly. Not by email, not by text message, face-to-face, or as a minimum, a live cameras-on call. Written feedback strips tone and invites misreading. And those 2 rules sound kind of obvious, but they're where most feedback quietly fails. And there's a caveat though. Structure improves your odds significantly, but it doesn't guarantee a good outcome. If the relationship is already strained, if the recipient isn't in a position to hear it, or if the cultural context makes direct feedback uncomfortable, even a well-structured conversation can land badly. The CIPD notes that feedback can be detrimental if not done in a right way. So structure is your best tool, but it isn't a guarantee. If that was of value, subscribe to the channel for one real business question answered every video. And for the same clarity in writing, the website and newsletter is at 5minutebusiness.com.